Welcome in, everybody. What's going on? Pre-snap read. Solo mission today. The Rising Rhino is here with you talking football after that crazy weekend. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So much to talk about, so much to do in 1 hour. We're going to need you guys to be my little co-host, if you will, as I bounce things off of you all morning. All right. So wake up, rise and shine. It's football time. All right, so hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, join the Rhino Nation. Solo mission, no Dr. Delay, but it's okay. We're going to go through everything that happened this weekend. We'll give you everything. Our top five, bottom five studs, duds. We're going to go through all the games. We're going to talk about QBR. We're going to talk about everything you want. We're going to get you involved today. This is what we're going to do. All right, first thing first, welcome in. Man, oh man, crazy weekend. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. We got one more game tonight to the Jaguars and the Chiefs. Should be doozy. I'll be pulling for the Chiefs, but we'll get more into that a little later. So welcome in, Giants fans, Sticks and Moses. What's going on? It is 5 a.m. Mountain Time, 7 o'clock on the East Coast. Time to get up, talk football, get ready for work. All right, we're going through the top five, bottom five to start us off. So let's hear your top five in the chat. Top five teams. I'm going to go down from 5 to 1. Let me know what you think the top five teams are. Here we go. Starting with number 5. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Well, you know what? We'll start with the Packers. Packers are number 6. Honorable mention. Outside the top 5. I moved them out. They're 2-1-1. They're going to tie against the Cowboys. So they're just out. But 5, the Tampa Bay Bucks. All right. Baker Mayfield just knows how to win at the end. That's what he does. This is what he does. He's crazy. Him and his commercials, good for him. The Bucks are a fourth quarter team. They win all the close games. And they win another close one. They're 4-1. Their one loss is against the Eagles in a close matchup. 4 o'clock on the West Coast. Moses, nice. So the Bucks are my number 5 team. They're moving on up. They play so many close games, similar to the Chiefs last year and the Eagles this year. So they're number 5. And then I have number 4, the Eagles, who win all the close games. They were dominating the Broncos all day long, but they fall down the list. Why? Because they blow the game. They blew it. They freaking blew it. Bo Nix and the Broncos came back to win at the end. Unbelievable. I'll go and take a deeper dive into that game in a little while. But the Eagles lose a close one. They were dominating, but they fall to number 4 on my top 5 list. The Eagles. I got something good in a little while for you about the Eagles as well. The Bills moved to number 3 on my list. I had them in the top spot. They go down to number 3. They lost last night to the Patriots. They got the big, ugly L. Man, so they lose the divisional game 23-20. It was close, but the Patriots, some way, somehow, Drake May outperformed Josh Allen. Pretty crazy, pretty ridiculous, but they're falling out of my top spot. I still think they're going to be the number 1 seed in the AFC, but they fall to number 3 after that performance. And they don't come back and get the win. All right, number 2. New spot in number 2 is the Colts. Our New York Colts, our Indianapolis Colts, led by Daniel Jones, moving into the 2 spot. They were, I think I had them just outside the 5 spot, but they're going all the way up to 2. I know they only beat the Raiders. I know. But they move up to the 2 spots. They dominated the Raiders 40-6. What's up, Steeler fan? Moses, welcome in. Dr. Delay, my co-host, not here today, big Steelers fan. But Colts, they are doing everything right. I'll take a deeper dive into that game once I run down all the teams. So, the Colts, 40-6, smashing the Raiders. And then the number 1 spot, the Lions. It seems more and more likely here in Week 5, they dominated again. They're so good. Is that Week 1 matchup against the Packers? That Week 1 matchup was a fluke, and they just weren't ready. They were just slow starting, okay? And after that, they've just been beating everybody up. The Lions are so powerful. They're so good. They're going to win the division. They're going to be a force in the NFC East, especially with the Eagles losing, Commanders rising up. But that Lions team looks like the best in the NFC. So that's my top five. What's your top five? Let me know, let me know, let me know. All right, so now we're going to bottom five. So the bottom five teams in the league. Bottom five teams. What is yours? Let us know. Let me know, rather. So I'm going to give you my bottom five starting from number 28 to 32 as we work our way down to the worst. We work our way down to who's the worst team in the league. All right, so here we go. We got number... hold on, is there an issue with the internet? Ruh-roh. Pause for station identification. The comments not showing up. All right, give me a second. Make sure I can see that. Restream's having an issue. Let me get that dialed up. Something went wrong. Of course, something has to go wrong on a Monday morning. Let's see. Let me just dial that up because I'm not getting the comments now. Let's see if it shows up on this end. Okay. Yeah, there we go. It's up there now. I don't know. Something happened with Restream. Hopefully we stay okay. The Jets haven't won a game. Yeah, they're going to be towards the bottom there, Moses. That's for sure. Don't know what's going on Restream. Weird. Weird. All right, number 28. I have the Miami Dolphins. Man, they're winning that game all day, and then they go and they blow it and lose at the end. But they're down. They're only at 28. Only 28 for me. A bunch of you think the Jets are the worst with no wins. So we'll see in a moment. 29, the Saints beating the New York Giants. Moving up a few spots. I had them at the bottom. They're one of the worst there with the Titans, but they get a win, and they're down to 29. And the Browns only got one game, too. That's true, Moses. So 28 Dolphins, 29 Saints. Number 30 is the Raiders, who just got shellacked by the Colts 40-6. So the Raiders down at number 30. Geno Smith leads the league in interceptions. He's playing horrible football. It's bad. Bad. The Giants are down. The Giants are honorable mention, probably at number 27. I don't have them in the bottom five, but they didn't look so good either. But there's so many bad teams. You could easily put the Giants in there with the Dolphins and Saints and the Raiders. But man, Raiders got mauled with no Brock Bowers, no problem for the Colts. The Raiders, they got Gentry who can run the ball, but passing ball is Geno Smith. This is a disaster for this Raiders team down at 30. 31 is the Jets. So almost at the bottom, the winless Jets. They looked horrible against the Cowboys. That was awful. That was crazy. Cowboys actually looking pretty good. They're moving on up. Who knows? Maybe we could talk about a little playoff situation very, very soon. You never know. Dak is looking good. But yeah, Justin Fields, he's terrible. He's a terrible quarterback. He's only a good fantasy quarterback because he puts up touchdowns in the fourth quarter and garbage time and pads his stats like your Dak Prescott that you guys usually talk about. So, pretty crazy, pretty ridiculous. The Jets crumbling down to 31. They might take the top spot. They almost took the bottom spot, if you will. The bottom spot for me. But the Titans are the worst. It took a bunch of flukes for them to get the win. Otherwise, they'd still be winless. Man, oh man. They should have easily lost that game to the Cardinals. They were losing 21-6 for so long. And then it takes the Cardinals on a breakaway touchdown run by DeMarcado. And then right at the goal line, he loses the ball like A.D. Mitchell did. Like A.D. Mitchell did last week. We lost it at the goal line and no touchdown. So that's what DeMarcado does for the Cardinals. So back-to-back weeks, we get a boneheaded play. And this time it cost the Cardinals big time. So that happened. That was the start of the decline for the Cardinals against the Titans. And then it also took a crazy... Oh, the chat is working. That's better. And then at the end, Cam Ward throws an interception towards the goal line. He runs it for a few yards. He goes down, but he gets hit. He loses the ball. The ball gets kicked into the end zone, and Tyler Lockett jumps on it for a touchdown. Was it Tyler Lockett? I think it was Tyler Lockett. Am I going crazy? Tyler Lockett, yeah. Tyler Lockett on the Titans gets the touchdown. So it was an interception, fumble, touchdown recovery by the Titans. These are the things that has to happen for the Titans to win a game. But they're on the bottom, right there with the Jets. The two of them horrible. Wow. So the Titans get the win, but they look so bad. So apart from those two flukes in one game, two of those craziness, random, ridiculous things happen for the Titans to win. So that's what they need to win. Otherwise, the Titans are the worst team in the league with the Jets. So that's just horrendous. There's only enough coffee for 2 cups. You drank 1, and Mr. Sticks is still sleeping. Oh no, that is bad form there, Sticks. Don't do it. Don't do it. So that's my top 5 and bottom 5. I got the Lions and Colts on top, and the Titans and the Jets on the bottom. All right, now we're going to hop to studs and duds of the weekend. Studs of the week is first. I got a bunch of them today. I got 5 studs and 5 duds of the week. So we'll start with the studs. First, we'll start with the Colts. JT, Jonathan Taylor, didn't rush for a lot of yards, only had 66 yards rushing. So, but the main thing is the Colts are able to pound the ball. They score tons of touchdowns. They had, 6 touchdowns? Yeah, they had 40 points. So JT had 66 yards, but 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns. All right. Who's your studs of the week? More coffee. Gotta have the coffee. I didn't have the coffee yet. I'll have coffee at work. I will survive for now. So just Jonathan Taylor gets 3 touchdowns. He's one of my studs of the week. C.J. Stroud coming through, and those Texans destroying the Ravens without Lamar Jackson. So C.J. Stroud threw for 4 touchdowns. He's back. He destroyed the Titans last week, destroyed the Ravens this week. They were 0-3. Texans now 2-3. C.J. looking good, hitting his stride. 4 touchdowns, you're a stud of the week. If you throw for 4 touchdowns, well, of course, no interceptions. With no interceptions, stud of the week. Big win for the Texans. Another stud, the game that I watch on the Commanders, is JCM. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt had 111 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. That rookie looks pretty darn good. He's quick, shifty, does work. He's going to help these Commanders get back into playoff contention. Jaden Daniels is back. He's playing okay. Not the best QBR, but he's doing all right. And with JCM, the Commanders can start talking about playoffs yet again. Wild card spot, maybe even the division. All right, we'll talk about that in a moment. I feel like Randy Macho Man Savage when I do this. So JCM stud, 111 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Another stud, you're not going to like it. You guys aren't going to like it. Not going to like it. Dak Prescott, 4 touchdowns. Dak Prescott against the Jets, bringing the Cowboys to life. America's team coming to life. So Dak Prescott is a stud this week. 4 touchdowns, dismantling the Jets. Cowboys looking like in the mid-tier, while the Jets are crumbling. So Dak Prescott, a great game. He almost beat the Eagles in week 1. Cowboys in a bunch of shootouts. They had that shootout against the Giants. And they blow up the Jets. It wasn't even close until garbage time with Justin Fields. Got a couple touchdowns, but couldn't get the onside kick. And they beat him by 2 scores. But Dak Prescott, stud. I know Dr. DeLay would be talking about how I'm a huge Cowboys fan or some nonsense. But I'm not. But Dak Prescott playing out of his mind, moving on up on the list for top-notch quarterbacks in this league. Another stud, a surprising stud out of nowhere, out of left field. This is crazy. Rico Dowdle. Who the what? Did anybody put this guy in their lineup in fantasy? Did anybody expect anything out of Dowdle? But what does he do? He rushes for 206 yards and a touchdown. 206 yards on the ground. Dowdle. I don't even know if he had 206 yards the whole last year. And that's how crazy this guy is. So he tears it up. Unbelievable. Those are my 5 studs. Who's yours? Let me know. Let me know what other studs you have in the chat. Now we're going to go rock to the duds of the week. Duds of the week. Who's your player that crumbled like Adonai Mitchell last week? Who's your dud of the week? I got 5 of them. I'm going to start with DeMarcado of the Cardinals because I just mentioned Adonai Mitchell who fumbled it at the goal line on a breakaway touchdown. Same thing with DeMarcado. He had this huge run by the Cardinals. Gone. See you later. And jogs into the end zone and drops the ball right at the goal line again and out of the end zone for a touchback. So DeMarcado is a big dud of the week because this helped the Cardinals collapse. They crumbled and got the loss to the Titans, giving the game away. So stupid. Oh my God, how do these players do this? This just happened last week. How does it happen again? How does it happen again? I don't understand. Why don't they get in the end zone, hold on to the football, and then spike it or celebrate? This can't happen in back-to-back weeks. You're getting paid all this money, you're a professional athlete, and this is what happens. You lose the ball at the goal line, especially when you're going to put the game away. Unbelievable. The Colts are going to put the game away last week. DeMarcado going to put the game away this week. And they drop it right at the goal line. It's disgusting to watch. It's so disappointing. If you're a player on that team, you got to get so mad. You got to get so annoyed. I mean, I guess the excitement of about to score a touchdown and you just want to celebrate and this feeling comes over you, I guess. I don't know. But you can't do that. Happened twice. Back-to-back weeks. If it happens again next week, holy cow. They got to start, like, dropping people. They got to start finding... I don't know. I don't know how you fix this. I don't know how you fix this issue, but it happens way more. It should never happen. It should never, ever, ever happen. Ever, 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 ever. Never. And this happened twice in back-to-back weeks. I feel like it happens a few times a year. It's insanity at its finest. So that's my first dud, DeMarcado. My first dud. My bad, he's not a stud. Not. My next dud is Jake Browning. He's on there again. He's horrible. He's throwing interceptions like crazy. 3 interceptions again. You don't want to be on the hat trick of interceptions. That is definitely not what you want to do. 3 of them. The Bengals have a quarterback problem. This team is bad. Joe Burrow hides all the problems on the team, just like Peyton Manning did for years. Browning, awful. He's got to go. He is not a capable backup. He was a few years ago. But without Burrow, this Bengals team looks like a winless team, sort of like the Colts with Curtis Painter. Now it's like the Bengals with Jake Browning. It's ugly. It's a disaster. The Bengals are a disaster. Dumpster fire. Wow. Silly Bengals. They're going to crumble hardcore. They have 2 wins? They got 2 wins on the season. They are going nowhere fast. All right. The next dud you had to see coming because the Ravens couldn't do anything against the Texans. They looked horrible, horrendous, brutal. Cooper Rush throwing 3 interceptions. I thought he would be okay, but that Ravens team is now 1-4. Ravens team's 1-4, right down at the bottom of the division there with the Browns. They're in bad shape. I don't know if they make the playoffs. We'll talk about that in the buy-sell momentarily. But wow, that's pretty bad. Cooper Rush, we knew he was going to be bad, but 3 interception bad. Horrendous. My next dud is Justin Herbert. He only threw for 166 yards. Justin Herbert. 166 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception in the loss to the Commanders. There is a nice AFC-NFC matchup. Jaden Daniels back after not playing 2 games. And Herbert, the last 3 games, he does not look good. He's a dark horse for an MVP. Does not look good. Dr. DeLay's been low on Herbert the last few weeks, and man, he's right. It's It's bad news. Jim Harbaugh looks shocked on the sideline. He looks confused. He's like, "What is going on with my team? What is going on with my possible MVP, Justin Herbert?" And I don't have the answer. The only thing I can think of is that offensive line is a mess. So he doesn't have much time to pass, but 166 yards, one touchdown, one interception. That is unacceptable for for a player of his caliber, Justin Herbert. So he's on the dud list. He's down at the bottom. And my last but not least, well, maybe least, probably least, the quarterback with the most interceptions, throws two more yesterday against the Colts. He leads the league in interceptions. He wants to stay there. He just keeps throwing them to the wrong team. Almost threw a pick six to Blackman. Geno Smith, 228 yards passing. Got a bunch in the fourth quarter in some garbage time. He looks awful. He throws to the people. Blackman. It was like I said it. I said it yesterday, and it's like Tecmo Bowl when they pick your play and everybody's covered, and they run in front of the receiver, and if you throw the ball, you get intercepted. If you don't throw the ball, you get sacked. But if you throw it, it gets intercepted. Like Geno Smith goes to throw the ball, Blackman runs in front of the receiver, and Geno throws it to him. Interception easily because he's in front of the receiver, and then returns it for a darn near touchdown. And Franklin was going to knock it away. He was right there too. So there's two Colts in front of the receiver. I don't know what Geno sees, don't understand, and he is just confused. Bedazzled. I don't know what you want to say. He's just confuzzled. It's a brutal watch for the 35-year-old Geno Smith. The decline is so hardcore. He is going way to the bottom of the list. He has the worst QBR in the league this week against that, top-notch Colts defense. They're average at best. They're a mid defense. And the other interception he threw was batted at the line by Grover Stewart, went way up there, and Lazio picked it off. But you got to get that ball higher up. But those big paws, those big mitts from Grover Stewart went and smashed that, and the ball went way up there and intercepted by Lazio. So those are my 5 duds. Those are my studs and duds of the week. All right, so I'm just going to run down the QBR real quick, the top 5 and the bottom 5, because I love the QBR, showing you what quarterbacks are performing, which ones aren't. Then we're going to hop to buy, sell, and then I'll do a quick recap of all the teams. Your Steelers. Do I got them winning? The Steelers, I don't know. I don't know what's going on in that division. They might win that division by default there, Moses. All right, so the QBR, number 6 of the week, not the top one that is usually up there, DJ, Daniel Jones. Danny Dimes is number 6 this week. Only number 6. Still around just over 79. He's still number 1 in the league after 5 weeks. Daniel Jones with the QBR. What up, Gaben Boy? Welcome in. It's early. Yep, it is early. It is early indeed. We do this every Monday, Thursday. I don't know how. Don't know how. All right, so Daniel Jones was number 6 on the QBR. Number 5. Did I mess this up? I don't believe it. Did I write something wrong? I must have wrote something wrong. That can't be Tua. That can't be Tua. Did I miswrite something? Is Tua number? It is Tua. I'm not wrong. Tua number 5 on the QBR. So they blew that game, but they're winning all games. So I guess Tua, with an 80.3 QBR is number 5 of the week. I thought I made a mistake. I thought I wrote something down wrong. That's shocking to see him up there. But that's not going to happen too often. Not going to happen. Dak at number 4, 87.9 on the QBR. Baker at number 3, getting that win at the end versus Darnold. Darnold was number 2 with the QBR of 95.8. The problem with Darnold is he had an amazing game. Tossing touchdowns. Could have been a stud this week. Could have been, would have been, should have been. But in the fourth quarter, less than a minute left, Darnold throws an interception to the Bucs to get the Bucs into field goal range, kick the field goal, win the game. So that's why I don't put Darnold up there. He turned it to the Jets form in the fourth quarter and blew that game. But he's the number 2 QBR of the week, 95.8. And number 1, shocking fashion, hasn't been playing well all year. Back in back-to-back weeks, 99.3 QBR. C.J. Stroud with his 4 touchdowns. So he had the best QBR this week, shooting on up. So that's the top QBR of the week. The bottom 5 QBR, which goes from 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, since we had a bunch of teams on the bye in this game tonight. Number 22, that's always on the bottom, Cam Ward. Played a little bit better in the fourth quarter, I guess, but he was number 22. He's way at the bottom. He had a 37 QBR. Cooper Rush at 23 at a 29.3 QBR. Justin Fields, the garbage time master. He is the new Dak Prescott of garbage time yards and stats. 24.2 QBR. Jake Browning, awful. 21.9. 3 interceptions for that guy. And the bottom of the barrel, 19 QBR. Geno Smith, looking horrendous. So those are your top 5, bottom 5 QBR. All right. Now we're going to get to the buy and sell. So buy and sell. We need you guys to tell me what you think about the buy sell. So my first buy sell is the Ravens miss the playoffs. What do you think? At 1-4, the Ravens just got wiped off the map. I think it was 44-10 to the Texans. 44-10. Do the Ravens miss the playoffs? Are you buying that, or are you selling the Ravens missing the playoffs? So you buy them if they're going to miss the playoffs. You sell them if you don't think they're going to miss the playoffs. They're going to bounce back and make it, because that is pretty crazy. 1-4. So I will tell you what I think right about now. All right. So I'm going to go and buy the Ravens making the playoffs. So I'm buying that. Buy. They are horrible. The Ravens missed the playoffs. I don't know who makes the playoffs in that division. I guess it's the Steelers by default. I mean, the Steelers are 3-1. The Bengals are 2-3. They're going to keep crumbling. The Ravens 1-4. The Browns 1-4. They're bad. The only one that's going to make it out of that division is the Steelers, and it's going to be maybe like a 9-8 Steelers. Something like that. Maybe they go 10-7. We're going to get some wild cards out of the other teams. You know, the Jaguars and Colts. Maybe even the Texans. Maybe even the Texans climb up. But also the AFC West. The Chargers 3-2. Broncos 3-2. Chiefs 2-2. Chiefs playing better. Hopefully maybe the Jaguars move up tonight. Broncos, Chargers. 2 of those teams can make the playoff. The Jaguars can make the playoffs. And the Patriots rising on up, who beat the Bills last night. So those are a bunch of playoff teams, not the Ravens. So I'm buying the Ravens missing the playoffs. Don't see how they do it. 1-4. Ouch. 141 points, 477 points against. They lost 3 in a row. It's a mess. They are in bad shape. They are crumbling. I say they miss the playoffs. All right, my next buy sell. I like this one to see what a lot of people think. Buy sell. Ibuka is the offensive rookie of the year this year. Ibuka, the wide receiver rookie for the Bucks, doing it all. That guy's amazing. I'll give you a little bit of stats for Ibuka. Is he going to win offensive rookie of the year? Ibuka has 38 targets, 25 catches on 38 targets, 445 yards receiving in 5 games. So almost 100 yards a game. Just about 90 receiving yards a game, which is 4th in the league. 4th in the league. And he's a rookie. So he's 4th in the league out of all the receivers. Pretty insane. And he's got 5 touchdowns through 5 weeks, averaging 1 touchdown a week. So Ibuka is a beast right now. A beast. Straight up beast. Because you got Puka number 1, JSN number 2, Justin Jefferson, and then Ibuka number 4, St. Brown number 5 in receiving yards. But Amon-Ra St. Brown's got 6 touchdowns, Ibuka's got 5. So he's 2nd in touchdowns out of all these guys. And in the league, not just offensive rookie of the year. So who's going to be able to contend with Ibuka? Well, we got Genti with 349 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and then he's got 62 receiving and 2 touchdowns. So Genti's got 4 touchdowns and over 400 yards. So he's right behind Ibuka. He's got a bunch of touchdowns, doing pretty well. Slow start to the season, but Genti's on his tail. Hampton, he's got 314 yards rushing, 136 yards receiving. Only 2 touchdowns for him as well, but he's become more of the bell cow. for the Chargers since Najee Harris went down. Only thing we got to keep an eye on is Hampton got injured, and he missed a bunch of the fourth quarter in crunch time for the Chargers trying to come back to win that game. They had Hampton on the sideline, so that was scary. That's not good news. Hopefully he's okay. I saw him walking on the sideline. He looked just to be walking, like not limping, but that's something to keep an eye on with Hampton. And then we also have our Colts, Tyler Warren, Colts tight end, 307 yards receiving. He's got 1 receiving touchdown and 1 rushing touchdown. So Tyler Warren's 18 in the league in receiving yards. So he's a bunch behind Ibuka because he's a tight end, but he does everything, blocking, gadget player, moving all around the offensive line. So he is probably number 4. So I got Ibuka number 1, Genti 2, Hampton 3, Tyler Warren number 4. Don't know if I'm missing anybody. You guys can let me know if I'm missing anybody in the offensive rookie of the year candidates. But I'm gonna go and buy that Ibuka is offensive rookie of the year. So I'm gonna buy this. I hope that Tyler Warren can get all the touchdowns and get all the yards. I don't think so. It's a tight end that he's going to overtake Ibuka for offensive rookie of the year. So that is my next buy sell. And then my follow up one for buy sell is the Commanders win the NFC East. What do you think about that? The Eagles don't win the division. The Commanders find a way to come and win the division. Would you buy that? You buying the Commanders or you selling the Commanders? That is the question. The Eagles just lost this week. The Commanders had a convincing win against the Chargers. Maybe it's shifting. Maybe the Commanders are back. Jaden Daniels, 2 games off. Here comes the Redskins, the Commanders, the Washington football team. Maybe the fluke of the Eagles winning these close games and they finally lose one. Maybe it doesn't hang on all year long. So let me know what you think of that. Are you buying that or selling that? I am not buying it yet. Not yet. I'm gonna sell. I'd rather have this as a hold, but and wait to see more from Jaden Daniels because his QBR is not so great. So he played a lot better against the Chargers. But I would watch out for the Commanders. They're moving on up. It could be close. They seem like they're playing like a wild card team now. But I would keep an eye on the Commanders, especially with the running back, JCM. So that's the difference maker, I think. Not so much Jaden Daniels, but Jaden Daniels with JCM running the ball, which is going to open things up for Jaden Daniels to run, pass, what have you, get those touchdowns. And I was impressed with the Commanders' defense against Herbert. Herbert's just running into some good defenses and getting smashed up. Was it Broncos, Commanders, and I guess the Giants? I guess I don't know how the Giants stopped them. So maybe Herbert's having a little bit of an issue. But yeah, I'm going to hold on the Commanders winning the division. So I'm going to wait on that. I would like to see the Eagles get the wild card spot instead of division, but we got to wait and see. Wait and see. All right, the next buy sell is a pretty crazy one. The Pats win the division over the Bills. Do you see the Pats just beat the Bills last night? Was this a fluke? Is this crazy? They did it out there in Buffalo too. They won in Buffalo. They beat the Bills. So they're 1 game behind them, and they have a chance to take this division. I know we're in week 5, but this is the whole point of talking football. We have to do this. This is what's exciting all year long. So the Bills 4-1, the Patriots 3-2, and the Patriots are 2-0 on the road. That's pretty awesome. The Bills 3-1 at home, their first loss. Can the Patriots win the division? Buy or sell that? I'm gonna sell that. I'm gonna stick with the Bills. They're still the best team. They just didn't come through. There was a bunch of fumbles, a bunch of penalties, sloppy football. I think it's not quite a fluke, but not something that's going to happen too often for the Bills. I still say they're way better than the Patriots. They'll win in Foxborough later in the year to get back at them. But yeah, the Patriots aren't at the Bills level, even though they won last night. Bills still in the lead for that number 1 for the number one seed. The number one seed in the AFC. But if the playoffs, I believe, were to start right now, the Colts would have the bye. They're 3-0 at home, 1-1 away. They look like the best team, and I think they might have the tiebreaker with the conference. So the Colts at 4-1, they'd be ahead of the Steelers, they're ahead of the Chargers. They would be ahead of the Bills because the Bills lost to the Patriots. So the Colts would have the tiebreaker through 5 games, and they'd have the number one seed in the bye right now. But, I still think the Bills go and do it and get the number one seed, win the division. The Patriots don't get there. That's my opinion on that. Then next up is, this one's kind of crazy. I know we mentioned this before, but buy, sell, the Chiefs winning their division. Are they going to win the AFC South with the Chargers losing back-to-back games, losing the Giants and losing to the Commanders, losing to the NFC East in back-to-back weeks? We got the 3-2 Chargers, the 3-2 Broncos, who just beat the Eagles. And then the Chiefs are 2-2, playing tonight against the Jaguars. If the Chiefs beat the Jaguars tonight, they go to 3-2. They got a 3-way tie in the AFC West. I think the Chargers would have it because they're 2-0 in the division. They beat the Broncos and the Chiefs. But, man, they'll have a 3-way tie, and then the Raiders at the bottom. But can the Chiefs win the division? That is the question. Man, it could happen. It might happen. The Chiefs are back. I don't know. I was high on the Chargers, but losing back-to-back weeks in that form, I'm kind of worried with the Chargers. Broncos looked terrible all game, and then they needed the fourth quarter comeback to beat the Eagles. Not riding high on the Broncos either. But the beginning for the Chiefs was kind of slow. I don't know. It's still early, but I would say the Chiefs have a good chance of coming back and winning that divisions. So I'm leaning towards buy the Chiefs. Buy the Chiefs coming back and winning that division. They're just within 5 games. The Chiefs were in bad shape to start the season, and now only in week 5, there's a 3-way tie at the top. They should have been a few games behind these guys, but if they win tonight, they're tied with the Chargers and the Broncos. So anybody's division, and the Chiefs, if they beat the Jaguars, they're looking like the best team in that division yet again. Patty Mahomes, this is what he does. It's crazy. So I'm going to buy the Chiefs. They're looking good. They're going to beat the Jaguars tonight, but I'm going to be hoping otherwise. Hope the Jaguars get the win and crush the Chiefs. And we'll see if they can keep coming and fighting back those pesky Kansas City Shuffle Chiefs. All right, we got a couple more. No, we got one more. All right, here we go. How about this one? Buy, sell. The Texans making the playoffs. Wow. Man. Buy or sell the Texans making the playoffs. They're now 2-3. So it goes Colts 4-1, Jaguars 3-1, Texans 2-3. They beat the Titans last week, and they beat the Ravens this week. I know they're bottom of the barrel. The Ravens want to get to the bottom 5 in the league. They want to get there. They're trying hard. They want to go to the bottom. I don't know why they want to go down there, but that's what the Ravens want to do. But the Texans looking good. C.J. Stroud, top-notch QBR for the week, throwing 4 touchdowns. He may be ready. He may be back. And the Texans team could be moving on up for a playoff spot. So watch out for the Texans and the Patriots trying to fight for a playoff spot. Do you think that the Texans can work their way in? It would start today with a loss for the Jaguars against the Chiefs. But the Texans have a chance all year long. They got 3 losses already, but they're starting to look a lot better. It's not how you start the season. It's how you finish. So I'm going to go and sell this. I don't think the Texans are going to make the playoffs, but they're going to make it interesting. They're going to fight it out with the Jaguars, fight it out with the Colts. But I think with the Chargers, Broncos, and Chiefs, probably 2 wild cards there. And the Patriots getting the other wild card because they beat the Bills. I say the Texans are just outside the playoffs, and they don't get in. But it's a definite maybe, Sticks. definite maybe. They can. They can do it. It's interesting to see them back. And, yeah, if they win next week, they'll be up to 500, 3-3. So I'm going to sell it, though. I'm not leaning towards that. I think there's a bunch of other teams that are better. But we'll see as the season goes further and further down. Oh, man. Week 5 almost done. We got one more game tonight. I'll be covering that to the Jaguars and the Chiefs tonight. So that should be awesome. 8:15 Eastern Time. Now, we're going to run through the little recap of the weekend. We're going to run through the games, the Niners and the Rams from Thursday night. What a disaster. This was a mess. I took the Rams, and they lost to the Niners. The Niners didn't have Purdy. They didn't have Kittle. They didn't have Pearsall. They didn't have Jennings. It was just Mac Jones. Mac Jones and me. Mac Jones. This Mac Jones. It's a revival of the Joneses with Mac Jones and Daniel Jones playing great football. So Mac Jones and CMC find a way to beat the Rams 26-23. The Rams came back. They got stuffed by the Niners defense, and the Niners hold on for a win against the Rams. That one was overtime, right? That was overtime, or was that the end of the game? No, that was overtime, I believe. Unless I'm going crazy. Either way, the Rams blow it. I mean, Puka, I think, had 10 receptions, 85 yards, and a touchdown. Didn't have over 100 yards, but the Rams should have stomped them. Big win by the Niners, moving up to the top of the division over the Rams. Shocked. Don't believe it. That was crazy on that Thursday night. I can't believe the Rams lost. Can't believe they lost after beating the Colts. And the Rams had a bunch of turnovers, a bunch of flukes. And, man, they lose to the Eagles and then they lose to the Niners, but they find a way to pull it out against the Colts. So some interesting things happening with the Juju and the Rams. The London game, the Vikings and the Browns. The number 1 defense, Browns, holding the first game by Gabriel. He did okay. He held his own, threw a touchdown to Fannin, very nice. And the number 1 defense, though, they were shutting down Wentz for the most part. And in the fourth quarter, one drive to rule them all. Wentz moves down the field, marches down the field at the end of the game, tossing a touchdown to win the game in the final 30 seconds. If you're number 1 defense, Browns, number 1 defense in the league, you can't let up a game-winning drive at the end to lose the game. In prime time, early in the morning, for us. But out there in London, you can't do it. Number 1 defenses don't do that. That's when they shine, when they win. So the Browns are going to Brown, best defense, and they lose the game in epic fashion, in disaster fashion. So the number 1 defense, that's what the Browns do. So your strength is your defense, and they crumble. So bad news by the Browns, getting the loss, giving it away to the Vikings and Carson Wentz. The New York Giants losing to the Saints 26-14. The winless Saints get a win to go in 1-4. Drop the Giants in 1-4. Jackson Dart throwing a couple touchdowns, couple of receptions, and they get outplayed by the Saints. Scataboom, he had a fumble return for a touchdown. What a disaster. That was a mess. And the Giants blow that game. And that's sinking the Giants towards the bottom 5. They might be there soon. Browns are more of a number 2 than a number 1. Hey-oh, got him. Good comment there, Danny. I like it. But the Giants, Saints, not much to talk about this game except that the Saints won by 2 scores over the G-Men. Inexperienced quarterbacks, but G-Men, come on. You beat the Chargers, and now you lose to the Saints? Terrible. You're going to be in the bottom 5 in no time. And now we have the Dolphins and the Panthers. Got this one wrong too. I took the Giants and they lost. I took the Dolphins and they blew this game to the Panthers. They're winning all game, and the Panthers and Bryce Young come back to win. They let up 200 yards to Dowdle. Unreal. 27-24 Panthers. Tua, top-notch QBR. I think he was, number 3 in the QBR this week? Or was he number 4? No, number 4. Number 4 QBR, and they lose to the Panthers. Who is this Panthers team? at 2-3, sending the Dolphins to 1-4. Dolphins don't look good. They look good in the first half, crumbled in the second half, and you can't let Bryce Young and the Panthers come back and beat you. Dowdle, you can't let Dowdle beat you. How do you let Dowdle run for 200 yards and a touchdown on you? That's awful. That's why the Dolphins in the bottom 5. Ouch. All right, Colts Raiders. This was great. I did my little Horseshoe Blues and News show about this one. It was great. 40-6 shellacking. The Colts had 1 3-and-out in the beginning, and then they had 6 drives in the red zone, 6 touchdowns, crushing the Raiders. 4 sacks, 2 interceptions, top-notch touchdowns. Geno Smith throwing interceptions like crazy. They didn't have Brock Bowers. He didn't play, injured with a knee. But Raiders in the bottom 5. They're going closer to the bottom 3. Geno Smith, the reason why I had him, the Raiders ranked a little bit higher than everybody else is because Geno Smith is one of the better quarterbacks. But not this year. Not now. Raiders crumbling. So last year, the Raiders had one of the better quarterbacks with Geno Smith. But that is just heading downhill. So far down. Do I think Dart and Gabriel last? Which one gets benched for the respective senior citizen? Now, I think they're going to be starting the rest of the way. I don't think Shedeur Sanders gets any snaps. I don't think they bring back Flacco. There's no need to. There's no point. You got to keep rolling with Dart, and there's no need to switch to Wilson. They're playing the rest of the year unless they get injured. So they're not going to demoralize these young quarterbacks. They will stay with the young guys. So Colts dominate the Raiders. Not much else to say about that except go Colts go. Number 2 in the league, right behind the Lions, in my opinion. The Eagles and the Broncos. The Broncos came back to win. But you know what? I was watching, paying attention to the score all day. The Eagles are up 2 scores over the Broncos, dominated the whole game. The offense, Bo Nix looking terrible. He had like less than 50% completion percentage for a while, all game. And then in the fourth quarter, Bo Nix comes back and leads his team to victory. So I'm going to say that's a fluke that Bo Nix came back against this Eagles team. But the Eagles' offense, 17 points. They couldn't do much against the Broncos' defense either. But I think the Eagles handled them, and they just crumbled at the end. They almost crumbled last week against the Bucks, but they were able to hold on because they were up by so much. So Baker almost came back, made it interesting when they were destroying the Bucks and they were destroying the Broncos, but this time they lose. Their foot was off the pedal in the fourth quarter, which is a rarity because the Eagles win these close games, and now it's back-to-back. Not back-to-back. They lose their first close game of the season. First close one-score game. So 5 games for the Eagles, all one-score games. But they lose this one because they should have won by 2 scores. So that's a little freaky. But the Eagles dominated, and the Broncos get the win. What an ending. All right, then we got the Cowboys and the Jets, 37-22. 0-5 Jets, only winless team. We don't have a team with a loss. We don't have a team with no losses, sorry, but we do have one team with no wins, and that's still the New York Jets at 0-5. The Dolphins popped the champagne after the Bills lost to the Patriots last night. Those 72 Dolphins, so I'm sure they're happy. But the Cowboys, quietly 2-2-1. That tie was pretty big for them. 2-2-1. We could talk about them making the playoffs in the NFC very soon. Interesting. Possible wild card. Maybe this NFC East has more to offer besides the Eagles and the Commanders. Maybe the Cowboys get themselves in the conversation. I mean, I still got the Packers a playoff spot and the Rams a playoff spot with the Niners perhaps. The Cardinals falling down. Why not the Cowboys? So Commanders, Lions, Rams, and Cowboys. I didn't say Commanders. So Cowboys have a chance. They got a shot in the playoffs. Maybe. The rise before the fall, says the Sticks. Maybe. But they did beat up a terrible Jets team. So the Cowboys go to 2-2-1. We'll keep an eye on the Cowboys and their possible playoff future this year. The Ravens get smoked by the Texans 44-10. Beat down. Stroud looking good, rising up. The Ravens crumbling hardcore. Nothing else to say about the Ravens. They are horrendous. Henry can't run the ball either. He's got, I think it was less than 50 yards as well. He had a touchdown, I believe, but Ravens, nope, no defense, no offense. Hope they're going to need Lamar Jackson to perform some MVP type stuff to come back and make the playoffs. They're 1-4. They are in danger of missing the playoffs with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. The Ravens in trouble about making the playoffs. I can't believe it. In that easy defense with the Browns and the Bengals and the Steelers. This looks like the worst division in the AFC. It looks like the worst, maybe one of the worst divisions in the league. Steelers are 3-1, and they don't look that amazing. So that division is looking awful. AFC South looking a lot better with the Texans moving up, with the Jaguars up there and the Colts at 4-1. AFC South is not the laughing stock of the NFL anymore. Let's look at the AFC North. Ravens. Sad times. Sad times. All right. What an epic game. Probably the game of the week. The Buccaneers and the Seahawks back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Darnold throws the pick. Baker gets the win. Field goal at the end, 38-35. Wow. So, awesome game. Wish I covered that instead of the Commanders and the Chargers, but I chose that one, and that was a mistake because this was the game of the week. Buccaneers, Seahawks. Seahawks look good. Darnold looking amazing. And Baker just outplays them, gets the win. Man, so the Seahawks getting the loss. So, but they're right there in the NFC. Like the Niners, Rams, and Seahawks. Powerhouses in the NFC. Powerhouses. 3-2 Seahawks should have that win. But the Buccaneers are 4-1, winning 4 of their 5 one-score games. All these close games. But the Bucs do it. Baker. He finds a way. The defense helped out there, though. I had their defense, the Buccaneers defense, in fantasy. They got me negative points. It was like negative 5 points. Horrible. I don't know what's going on with that Bucs defense, but it is a disaster. Then we talked a little bit about the Titans beating the Cardinals 22-21 with a walk-off field goal at the end. Cam Ward getting his first win in ugly fashion, but he looks horrible. He's still not ready through 5 games. Awful, terrible, brutal. It was DeMercado with the fumble at the goal line. It was Cam Ward throwing an interception. Then the guy dropping it, getting kicked into the end zone. And the Titans lock it, recovering for a touchdown. This is how the Titans win. 2 flukes. That's the only way they win. Titans are horrendous. Cardinals should have won that game. Should have won it easily. I know they're missing their 2 starting running backs, Benson and Connor. But they still had it won. But 2 flukes in 1 game. Crazy. Oh, and yeah, and the Bucs were in their creamsicles. Their orange. The psychological advantage. Crushed them. 2 of the weirdest plays in the 1 game. An interception, fumble, kicked into the end zone for a touchdown. And then the fumble, like the Cardinals, had to go and out and show up the Colts from last week with the Donnie Mitchell's fumble. So that's how the Cardinals lose in horrendous fashion. That is probably one of the worst ways to lose, and to one of the worst teams in the league. Not even a good team, the Titans, who I have at the bottom of the rankings. The Titans. So it's insanity. That is a fluke on top of fluke, a double fluke for a win for the Titans. That's how you have to gift wrap a win for Tennessee. Unreal. All right, Commanders and the Chargers. The Commanders destroyed the Chargers 27-10. It was the first 10 points by the Chargers, looking really good, and then 27 unanswered points. The Chargers just fell off a cliff. Herbert looks lost. Offensive line is terrible. Jim Harbaugh's confused on the sideline. They kept going to Harbaugh, showing him just like, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but he just looked so lost and didn't know what was going on. He couldn't believe his eyes. So Herbert, disaster. Jaden Daniels moving on up. So NFC dominating the AFC. I don't know what in the world is wrong with the Chargers. Moving on to the Lions and Bengals. The Lions 37-24. It wasn't this close. It was not this close. Lions beat them up bad. Lions 4-1, best team in the league. Bengals 2-3. They're going to the bottom 5. They are heading down there. They are outside the 5, but they want to be there with Jake Browning. They don't have a quarterback. I don't know if the Bengals trade for a quarterback. Are they going to keep going with Browning? I mean, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, they're 2-3. Playoffs still on the table, but what's in the box? Gwyneth Paltrow's. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, Bengals. I don't know if they're going to trade for one. I don't think they want to give up any draft capital for a quarterback because their season's done. But there's plenty of teams that would be willing to trade a quarterback. We got Kirk Cousins. We got Russell Wilson. We got Anthony Richardson. There's one more out there as well that would probably love to get traded. Maybe even Wentz. Well, actually, the Vikings would probably want to trade for a quarterback too. They wouldn't trade Wentz because JJ's hurt. JJ McCarthy is just terrible. But I don't know if the Bengals want to give away capital to get a quarterback because their season's just lost. Lost. And the night game last night in the final 2 minutes. At the 2-minute warning, here we go. Getting into the Packers and the Bills on the other side of the 2-minute warning. That's the other guy. Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston are available for the taking. So, yeah. Unless I'm just already said it and don't know what's going on because I'm super sleepy. All right. The Patriots and the Bills. I took the Bills to win the slam dunk. I was hoping the Patriots would keep it close, and boy, did they. They kept it close, so close. They even won the game. Drake May. He didn't throw any touchdowns, but that was a sloppy game. That was a boring game. Very disappointed. It was, 6-3 at halftime? Or 6-6? No touchdowns in the first half. They get them in the second half. That was a dud, a boring, lame game. I expected so much from that, and it was horrible. Please send runs to Cincy. We're on to Cincinnati. Everybody wants to play Cincinnati right now. Everybody wants to play them. And the Titans. Anyway, the Patriots go and win the game. They kick a field goal at the end to take the lead with less than 30 seconds left and crush the Bills out there in Buffalo, deflating their fans in that whiteout game. Not much to say about that, but the Bills fall out of my top spot. They go to number 3. Colts moving up to the 2 spot. Lions taking the top seed. Patriots are possibly moving up to a playoff spot. Crazy. They might even make the playoffs at a 6 or 7 seed. I wouldn't doubt it. Drake May looking good, getting better and better, looking pretty solid. Like I said, he didn't throw touchdowns, but he's getting closer to like Daniel Jones, how he's playing. Not crushing the stat sheet, but doing things the right way. Playing some amazing football. All right, that is our hour. We did it. Solo mission by the Rhino, pre-snap read. All right. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Unless you're just straight up terrible, horrible, and you're just bad at what you do. Then it's time to stop. It's time to give up. It's time to find something else. Don't keep trying. You're done. You're awful. Move on. Someone's got to tell you. I'll tell you. Time to move on. You're not good at what you do. Move along, people. Stop it. If it's 2 weeks, if it's 5 months, if it's 10 years, whatever it is, if you're not good, you're not successful, don't keep trying. Stop trying. Move on to something else. Put your energy elsewhere where you can succeed. You're not good. Move on. Pre-snap read. I'll see you guys Thursday. Happy Monday. I'm off to work. Catch you later. Rising Rhino. Pre-snap read.